Nice to welcome to our telecast too Matty Campbell, who's been with the Lions now all season and sees them begin yet another finals campaign. Welcome, Matt.
Yes, good evening, Sandy, Jason, and it's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to a ripper.
And from South Australia, Tony McGuinness. Welcome, Tone.
Good evening, Sandy. Good evening, everyone.
And also down on the boundary line, full complement, because we've got one of the pioneers here from the Gabba in the Big Dipper. He calls himself a pioneer, and with him is Victoria Carthew. Welcome to you both.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening. Thanks, Dip.
Haven't we kicked on down the banjo line down here, eh? Well, let's talk about the conditions, Victoria. Obviously, the rain has certainly set in tonight.
Certainly a little bit slippery underfoot, I think, Dip, but nothing like what we saw last week. It was very, very heavy rain, and the Lions certainly handled the conditions pretty well.
And the weather conditions don't really affect this ground, but Matthew Bishop is starting on the bench, Jason. I'm a bit surprised about that. I know you mentioned that before we started, that maybe he'd be picking up Lynch or Bradshaw.
I think the other strange thing as well, Mal Michael on the bench, probably for the first time this season for Brisbane.
Enjoy the game, boys. I'm certainly enjoying down the banjo line.
Yeah, Dipper and Victoria Carthew. Well, looks as though Bassett will get the job down in defence, and Mal Michael coming back into the side this week for the Brisbane Lions.
It's going to be a big one for Scott Bassett, isn't it? He's only played the 4 games this year.
Just quickly, boys, the feeling in the both cities this week. Firstly, Matty, as far as Brisbane is concerned, a perfect preparation?
Absolutely perfect, Sandy. Nothing's gone wrong, and they've got their best team out there. They couldn't ask for anything better.
Port Adelaide, I mean, they have had a sad week with the loss of one of the legends of the club in Foster Williams.
Their form, Sandy, in the second half of the year has been excellent. A big win last week against West Coast, and they would be going in quietly confident, no question about that.
Well, there's another interesting one to see Stuart Dew.
I mean, so much has been said about Brisbane's big Fab Four. I mean, Port Adelaide's options in the midfield, you'll see 8 or 10 different players rotating out in the midfield during the course of the evening. So if things aren't working with a couple of players, they do have options to put in there.
Well, the stakes are high. The winner gets a week off and will play either the winner of Carlton and Richmond. The loser has got to front up next week to the winner of the Hawks and Sydney. Port Adelaide has won the toss. They're kicking to the right of screen in drizzly rain. Stevens, Scott, Lappin already jostling. Primus has been in sensational form, but it's Keating who wins it out of the middle. Copeland looks down towards right half forward. Leads in the race, but bang! He gets taken out of it in no uncertain fashion. Picked up and kicked towards Primus on centre wing. Lappin leads the big man, but he gets a fist to it and he pushes towards left half forward. Primus slips and he's taken over the line by Lappin. And there will be a throw in. Slippery conditions. This misty rain has been falling now for some time. And a throw in on left half forward. No one able to get it away cleanly, and we'll do the same thing again.
Just talking, the taxis have already...
The ball here, boys. A free kick maybe down here with Keating and Franco.
The taxis have already started. Nick Stevens is picking up Nigel Lappin. Brad Scott, number 5 of Brisbane, is going with him, so they're creating a 2-on-1 there.
Well, we'll probably see this for the first 10 or 15 minutes as they try to get the matchups that the respective coaches want. Again, Black gets it out. Clever handball. Lions going forward. Power in front, over the back. Port Adelaide, Wakeland gets some support. Francis now got so much length with his kicks towards the forward 50. Scott with Cockatoo Collins. Good sport. Falls towards Copeland. Found himself back in the team. He's already got hold of the ball a couple of times. A little bit indecisive there as he got to the wing. And as you can see the result, he had no one to kick to and just bangs it back. And the mark is taken by Bassett. Again, the power quickly to play on through Kingsley. Player in the middle has got to make it. Guerra over the top of Lynch. Here comes the athletic nodding. He can't pick it up. Well done by Guerra, but he only slapped it to Lappin. Clever kick from Lappin. It should suit Black if it does. He's going to be run down inside the handle of the heart. He's caught. Good pressure by the power. Nodding caught as well, but still spills free. The Lions still surge forward. Punching it back. Here's a chance for Hart. Needs to get onto his left. Smother again. Great work by Power in defence. Primus, will he rush the behind? He does.
I'm impressed with the start by Port Adelaide. They haven't been overawed by the pressure. They're tackling, chasing, smothering. The all-round pressure has been very, very good early on.
Fabian Francis to bring it back. 1 of 9 to have played every game this year for Port. They've had a pretty good run as far as injuries have been concerned. Brisbane have got 5 who haven't missed a week. Francis going long to the outer side, and Big mark taken. Now, here's a great opportunity for the Power to rip it through the middle. Josh Franco sets up the hand pass. They've got players going past him. Burgoyne is one. Chip is smothered, however. Maybe a costly turnover. Jonathan Brown tries to get the hand pass away. He's successful. Keating tumbles a punt towards Lynch. He's forced to spoil from behind. Again, the pressure's on the Power defence. Kingsley takes the hand pass. Gets a hurried left foot kick wide towards the half-back flank. Montgomery will be quite happy to see it over the line. He's with Nottingham. We've got a throw in.
Great play by Aaron Kingsley. He's had an excellent year for Port Adelaide across the half-back line. Under pressure there from Sean Hart. Just knew he had to go to the boundary. Did it extremely well.
Keating and Primus. Primus got a hand, but that was all. Copeland, what a dream run this young man has had. He's at the bottom of the pack and didn't appreciate the attention from Primus.
Gavin Wanganeen starting on the half-forward line, being picked up by Marcus Ashcroft. Wanganeen will start forward, and if Port get in trouble, he'll go in the back half.
Umpire having a quiet word with Robert Copeland. Primus again. Keating from behind. Brad Scott trying to just dribble it forward to accommodate Johnson. Johnson on centre wing. Oh, he's going it straight to Montgomery. Could be a costly turnover. James around the body goes to Treadray. In front of Lepich. He kicks it down towards Guerra. Couldn't take the mark. Did it come off his boot on the fall? It did.
I thought it went along the ground after it hit his boot. May have been a little bit unlucky there, Brad Guerra. But it was a tough ask. The kick from Treadray. Just need to be a little bit more precise.
White goes laterally to Brad Scott. Plenty of space for him up the middle. He decides to run. And then the kick in search of Brown. Mead right with him. Brown, that's a super mark by Jonathan Brown. Wet, greasy conditions. And the young 19-year-old was equal to it as he goes to the lead. Lynch, long lead, gets it. Well, key forwards involved, Jason.
See, Jonathan Brown, he's taken the one grab mark under pressure. Darren Mead, a very tough defender. Then he's just wheeled around off a couple of steps and drilled the ball to the lead of Alistair Lynch. Hit him right on the logo. Magnificent play, Jonathan Brown.
Well, so much riding on Lynch's accuracy. From 50 metres, it gets up and under it a bit. It may not make it. It's going to go right to the goal front, and it's right across for the one behind. So, second behind to the Lions.
Let's look at some of the key midfield matchups. Nick Stevens is picking up Nigel Lappin. Schofield is picking up Ackermanis. Carr, of course, as Jason said before the game, picking up Michael Voss.
And Roger James on Simon Black.
54 goals, 29 for Alistair Lynch for the season. Kingsley tucked in the back pocket. Wants to come in towards Mead at half-back. Takes the mark. He's been very reliable. Schofield with some fancy little work towards Stevens, and he's got Montgomery on centre wing. Montgomery gets clear of Notting, and he gets his kick down towards right half forward. Good strong mark taken by Chris Scott.
Top one in the side of the head for his trouble too, Chris Scott.
He won't mind that.
He loves it hard, doesn't he?
Changes direction and goes towards Darryl White on the outer side of the Gabba. He chips towards Copeland, who marks midfield in front of Corns.
Johnny Brown by himself.
That's where he heads, wide in front of the Social Club. Jonathan Brown chipping towards 50. He wanted Lynch, but he's too wide, and it's out on the full again.
Treadray really playing up the ground tonight, boys. He's just been told to hang around the centre half forward area.
Somewhat of a nervous start, understandably so, for a couple of players. This is Burgoyne. Kicks back towards centre wing. Lepich and White it is who comes over the top and smashes it back towards the boundary line for another throw-in.
Jason, this is just the start Port Adelaide would want, isn't it? They wouldn't have wanted to be blown out of the water.
No, all they had to do was,
they
had to batten down the hatches for the first 10 minutes because the heat would be on, and they've done it very, very well.
Just the two behinds on the board. They've gone to Port. Primus trying to poke it down towards Josh Franco, not successful. Voss, Burgoyne sockers it out of his hands. Johnson, somewhat crudely dealt with. And he'll get the free kick. Had a good season. Mind you look at the Brisbane outfit, and there aren't too many that have had poor seasons. Johnson to a congested half-forward line. Keating is at the back, and three little nibbles. He gets it off, he goes towards Scott, who comes wider now. And the Scott boys combining. Jonathan Brown upright in stance now, picks it up, did get rid of it. Was he held? Hart goes into assist, tries to bend it round the boundary line into the pocket. Was it over? It was over on the full, despite the efforts of Daniel Bradshaw.
So Port relief through Mead. Brown is going to work him over. He's going to run all over the ground,
He
up
is
to the
covering
wings.
some ground early, Jonathan Brown.
Mead won't mind, though. He'll sit back. He plays very tough and very strong inside the defensive 50. Probably prepared to give Brown a little bit of room up at the wing. Where Long in front, Notting couldn't quite get it. Chance for Port here. They've got a player wide and Cockatoo Collins, but Notting gets in and over it. Terrific season from Notting. 50th game tonight. Lepich to Johnson. Now Carr is pressing. Johnson will need to be clean. Wasn't that clean, but God, he loves to take them on, doesn't he? Here's White running on, and he can go. White inside the forward 50. The leading player, Bradshaw, great hands.
Gee, they're making a mockery of the conditions at the moment. We've seen Jonathan Brown once already, and it's been steadily drizzling for the last hour.
Yep.
So the ball would be very greasy, but Daniel Bradshaw, hasn't he been terrific, particularly in the second half of the season, really working beautifully with Alistair Lynch.
That's a strong mark in front of Bassett. He's kicked 44 for the season. This one is close. It's a goal. The Lions first.
Well, that's the one they were looking for, the Lions. They've had plenty of the play early on. Certainly had the majority of possession in the first 8 minutes of this match. And they needed to put a little bit of score on the board. Chris Johnson, he had plenty of time down back. Playing a little bit, well, he's virtually on his own at the moment because Peter Burgoyne's pushing up the field, playing as an extra midfielder. And just setting things up from down back to Darryl White, who found Bradshaw.
$45 goals for Daniel Bradshaw now for the season. Primus setting himself again. The Lions by 8 points. Out of the middle, Ackermanis couldn't get a touch, but he's streaming down the ground now as they go inside 50 once again towards Lynch. At the back is Bradshaw, Bassett and Wanganeen both there. Picked up by Wanganeen, goes underground towards Francis. Ricochets away over the line.
Yeah, Tony McGinnis, you mentioned that before. Wanganeen's now pushed down back. Hasn't taken long.
Inside 50 entries, 6 to the Lions. Port Adelaide yet to go deep inside 50 early in the game.
The big men lock arms once again. Copeland, Keating, Voss is there. Ackermanis almost thrown out the back door. Tumbled up towards Bradshaw and Lynch and fisted to the line. Big job for Bassett. Scott Bassett playing just his 5th game for the year.
Port Adelaide's tactics, Sandy, pretty clear. They're going to keep pushing players back into Brisbane's front half, just flood the back line, then wait and try and get the fast break.
Primus wasn't fast enough on that occasion. James taken to ground.
The Brisbane runner just come out to Marcus Ashcroft and basically pushed him upfield. He was on Gavin Wanganeen, who's come up and played in defence. They virtually said, come up and make yourself a dangerous attacking option.
7-man forward line.
And that's for Shea Cockatoo Collins to come up and pick him up. So it's very crowded in Brisbane's forward line at the moment.
Every player in one half of the ground at the moment. Here's Franco from fullback. Short to Montgomery. They're going to have to move down the ground now en masse. Inboard towards Mead. He thought about the hand pass. Shepherding from Kingsley, and he gets his kick up towards the half-forward line. Wanted Corns, didn't find him. Schofield going past. He's going to be claimed. He is, but not before he gets it away to James. Got to call out wide to Stevens, but he decides to go the other side. And that's going to be okay. Well, Copeland gave away a bit of a shove anyway. I think it's Guerra who's going to take it. And he's just on 50. One of the youngest in the Port Adelaide lineup, still 19 years of age, and pretty accurate in front of goals. 12 goals, 3.
He's had a good year, Sandy. He's been used in various different positions, both forward and back. Played a lot of games on the interchange bench. When he does come on, though, he can make an impact.
Guerra for Port's first. This to cut the margin to 2 points. Kicking from, in fact, 53. Good looking kick off the boot. That's a sensational kick, and he's got it. Guerra gets Port's first, and they're on the board.
You'd be pretty pleased if you were Mark Williams at the moment. I mean, judging the conditions, the home ground support, the statistics that favour the home side, particularly here at the Gabba. They've won 5 from 5 finals. They've started off particularly well in the first quarter, just matching it with Brisbane early for intensity and making the most of a rare foray forward. A magnificent kick from Brad Guerra, just what they needed.
Port Adelaide straight into their forward 50, get the result they wanted, their first goal. 11.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Keating against Primus. McDonald will share the load with Keating. But Smother was 2 Smothers in there, but it falls for Black. Getting possessions early. Here's Johnson doing likewise. He wants a 1-2, but there's an error there from Copeland. Black once again on the right boot. Deep inside 50. Big Pack pushing and shoving everywhere. Crummer's needed for Brisbane. Can Brown get it on? He can't. Good tackle there by Bassett. He wrapped him up just when the ball was about to be pushed forward. So Bassett has started well. He's under enormous pressure.
Tell you who else has started well. Josh Carmichael Voss yet to get his hands on the leather. They'll be pretty pleased with that, I'd think, in the Port Adelaide box.
Nigel Lappin only 1 possession, but Simon Black 7. In close. That's where you often don't see him, Jason. He's just in there and bang.
Nearly fell over when you said 7.
Yep. Lappin, you can't call that a possession. Port force it out. In front, Brisbane.
Oh.
Clash with 2 Brisbane players. And free kick is going to Port, and they've got some players running hard. Stevens is running hard. And now Schofield on the wing. Schofield, Treadray the target. Lepich right there, went up early, got the punch. Oh, well read by White. Just get the feeling about Darryl White tonight. It's going to be his night. He won't mind Chad Corns as an opponent. That's a poor kick from Black. Oh, that's a great mark from Kingsley. In the went. Had the right over Luke Power, but did it beautifully. Kingsley dominated against Brisbane in the Ansett Cup final. Almost cockatoo. Yes, he's paid it.
I think that's a fair decision in the conditions as well. He got one solid grab on the ball before he was basically pulled off the ball. So I'm pretty happy with that decision. You've got to reward players in these conditions.
Off 2 steps. Well, he's got an 8-iron under that because that's got backspin on it. It went that high. Lepich the punch. Ackermanis roving it. Lappin. They use each other so well, the Fab Four. Not so much about that kick, but Scott is strong overhead. Not much to kick to. When in doubt, go to Brown. Crumbing Notting, spinning Notting. Check side, pass Notting. Don't know about that though. Should suit Port. Bassett once again. Montgomery into the middle, and away goes Burgoyne.
Looks up towards the half-forward line. Treadray again is the target. White will be there with the spoil from behind, and he's effective. Treadray goes again, tries to slap it back. Well done by Lepich, though, to surge it forward. Voss picks up a possession with a hand pass that's good to Lynch. He's on the half-back line, but it's a superb kick to Brown. He's on right half-forward. Bradshaw, but even shorter is Brad Scott. He had Sean Hart there as well. And Scott is going to go back and kick for goal.
I think they're playing a dangerous game with Jonathan Brown, Port Adelaide. They're just zoning off. Darren Mead's pulling back because he does roam far and wide and probably figures he'd get run ragged if he tries to stay with him all the way. But gee, he's getting quite a few possessions, and more importantly, he's hitting targets when he does get them.
Very accurate kick for goal is Brad Scott. 11 goals, 3. From limited opportunities this year, he's kicking from 52. Goes across the face slightly. Bradshaw there. Bassett is a spoiler. And 1 behind is the result. 1-3. The margin 3 behinds. As this misty rain again returns.
They've had 80% of the play, you'd say, Brisbane, up forward. So she'd be really pleased from a Port Adelaide point of view looking at the scoreboard.
Francis straight down the middle. Primus is his man. Voss Johnson! Over the top comes Chrissy Johnson! Forget the rain.
Was he smiling then? He was laughing.
And he's gone to Keating.
He's entertained us a few times this year, Chris Johnson, hasn't he? He's not afraid to take them on. And you've got the captain jostling with the ruckman. And he said, I'll just walk up these steps right in front of me, and takes a beauty.
It's just one of those situations where if they're going to leave him loose in the back line, he'll go berserk.
Oh, won't he? Plays into his hands.
Keating then. For the Lions' second goal. He's booted 14-7 this season. He ambles in. If it's a Sunday afternoon, and he just tugs it away to the left fractionally. Another opportunity goes begging.
Craig McRae just onto the field, boys. I know all of his wife's family are all Port supporters, so he was feeling a little anxious heading into this.
The Lions peppering the goals and entering inside 50, but not able to make it pay on the scoreboard.
Francis again coming wide towards Mead. Keating was the spoiler. Montgomery caught and slapped over the line by Notting deliberately.
Pushing the back is part.
To be a brilliant tackle, considering the momentum was always going to carry them forward. It was a great effort by Tim Notting, but in the end, the umpire thought it was in the back and kicked to Montgomery.
So he goes short, finds James. And another one to Burgoyne.
They do
now to centre wing.
They do this well, Sandy, Port Adelaide. They just maintain possession of the ball, wait for the option to open up, don't fall in the trap of kicking it long and just bombing to a forward area, which is congested heavily.
Well, Mead, he pondered a couple there and eventually just bombed it long down into that forward line. Voss will see it over and another throw in.
See, what both sides are doing, they are flooding hard.
Yep.
They're pushing their 2 or 3 half-forward flankers, pushing them back. At the moment, we see a player not on the forward half for Brisbane. We've often seen it with Port Adelaide.
That was dead set deliberately pushed that over the line.
He paid in the back, though.
Looked to be a tough decision, didn't it?
Anyway.
Boundary throw in, deep inside Port's territory. Fumble there from Brad Scott. And Johnson gets over the shoulder.
Shoulder, Matty.
Thanks, Dipper. Chris Johnson has started well once again. He's at 28 possessions last week against Sydney in the rain.
Wanted to go on with it, Chris Johnson.
I guess that's
Robert
if
Copeland
there's
had
any
sent him back
flaw in
to
his
get the ball.
nature, sometimes he forgets about the ball and wants to go on with it a little bit.
Robert Copeland actually gave him a shove and said, get back, just get the ball and get on with it.
Yeah, and they work it wide from Scott to Scott. Backyard footy for the Twins. And Port get the numbers back. So Chris Scott forced to go short, and it is backyard footy.
And in these conditions, it's amazing the way these players are handling the ball. It is not dry out here, and it's more than misty rain at the moment.
Brad Scott just pushing to a congested wing. Look at the amount of players. Look at the amount of Lions. Copeland came over the top. Lappin crumbing. Gets it around the corner. Somehow they got it out of there. Lynch has to turn around on the sixpence. Doesn't get far. In towards Montgomery. Should get that on the chest, and he does. No one to kick to Lynch. They're all moved up to that contest. Here go Port on the break. Wanganeen. For some reason, some of the crowd not happy with Wanganeen. Don't know what for. Kick might suit Johnson. Well, could have gone harder there. Johnson thought the contest was coming. Just put up the one hand. Cockatoo Collins towards Corns. White. Thought it might have gone out. Cockatoo Collins did well to keep it in and force it inside the 50. Lepich can go laterally. Decides to go back towards White. It's going to stay in. Oh, great mark, Shea Cockatoo Collins. How did that stay in? That was the Zutta.
And then
that was one of Shane Warne's Zuttas. He squares it up. It's a poor kick. That's a helicopter. And Voss will mark for Brisbane. Josh Carr has done the best on Voss this year.
Five minutes remaining in the quarter. Lovely kick to White. From centre wing, he cruises towards left half forward and Brown. Good opposition from Mead. Just paddles it towards the line. Will Ackermanis keep it in? He does. Quiet first quarter for him. Good kick. An excellent kick, and big crackers. Keating is much closer this time, and he'll go back and shoot for goal.
He started well, Clark Keating as well. Sorry, Magga.
He has, Jason. He's not afraid to push forward either, is he?
No, he's been a goal kicker for them in the past. He's kicked 5 on a number of occasions.
Primus will try to push forward, but just at the moment there's so much momentum behind Brisbane's game. Primus having to do most of his work in the back half of the ground.
This to stretch the lead to 10 points. Keating, 25 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Having a few problems. There's a couple of opportunities he's missed, Clark Keating. He does dead set look like the human glacier on the way in. He just trickles in, dawdles in,
1-5.
and then tees off.
And a double change for Port coming up here, boys. We've got Brogan and Bishop coming on the ground.
Port doing it well out of their defence to Montgomery. Interesting to see Keating still on. They haven't made the change with McDonald. Such is the respect for the physical presence of Primus, and perhaps saving McDonald for fresher legs later. Burgoyne caught. It's going to suit Treadray though. Long lead and got it on the wing. Now kicks towards Corns. Right with him again, White. A push. Against White.
Good finish.
And Port Adelaide hit the front with the advantage. Josh Franco.
Well, the crowd don't like it, but the umpire was on the spot. It was the perfect situation to play the advantage. And Josh Franco, calm as you like, he was going at three-quarter pace. He knew he had time. A couple of the Brisbane Lions had stopped. Unfortunately, that's the natural tendency when you do hear the whistle. And they all stop and look. He just keeps going and threads it through beautifully.
Franco gets his first. He joins Brent Guerra as a goal kicker, and Port hits the lead. Just a point in it with a couple of minutes remaining. Primus is pumped, but it's Ackermanis out of the centre. A high ball towards the 50. The race is on. Bad bounce for Bassett. taken towards the line. Bradshaw goes in hard on Kingsley. Hart is there as well. Kingsley will go again. Still in play. Wanganeen does well to Franco. He bends it back towards centre wing. Stevens can't get into it at the moment. A quick hand passes away from Scott towards Ashcroft. A real fit of the fumbles, but he gets it out eventually to Lappin. Away from Corns and up towards the 50 once again. Voss, Brown at the back. Couldn't take it. Voss wants it. Brown tries to get it out. He's not successful, and there'll be another bounce.
He's lucky he didn't go for holding the ball then, because he did. Look, it's a great effort to keep possession in the forward line, but he did drag the ball back under after spilling the mark, Jonathan Brown.
Just a couple of key statistics as well, which makes Port Adelaide's performance all the more impressive. The Lions are 4-0 out of the centre square. The inside 50s are 12 to the Lions, 4 to Port Adelaide. So to be in front of the scoreboard without any entries by the opposition is remarkable.
McDonald getting ready to have a run, boys.
And Carr, Bassett with courage. Brown, talent, beautifully done. To Black, off to Scott. This is Brad Scott. This is dangerous. Alistair Lynch, 15 metres out. They'll take him round on a bit of an angle, but it shouldn't be a problem. And a chance for the quick reply for the Lions.
Good forward play from Alistair Lynch. He was just on the move. He saw the kick was coming in. He knew it wasn't going to be a pinpoint pass, so he was just on the move looking for front position. And the awkward kick fell short. Alistair Lynch in perfect position.
54 goals for the season. He booted 68 last year. A chance for his first tonight. He misses.
Well, he tried to do a little bit of both things. Then he drifted out in the run in and then tried to hook the ball around. You've either got to make a decision to consciously go out and open up the angle or run straight. He did a little bit of both, unfortunately.
Two of our finals rookies just interchanged Mal Michael on for Robbie Copeland.
Well, Keating's missed 2 set shots. Lynch has missed a couple. Brad Scott didn't score, didn't make the distance.
He'd be disappointed, Lee Matthews.
Yeah, plenty of set shots, plenty of marks inside their forward 50, and yet the scores are level. Bassett slowing things up. To the wing. Brogan the target, and that is a good mark in these conditions. He had the height advantage over Johnson. Johnson not respecting him enough there. Had to just get up and bang the hands or bang the ball. Just make it a tougher contest. Brogan towards... Well, he didn't get a lot of distance on that. McDonald now on. Lepich reads it. Black. That'll be possession number 10. Short, DeVos. Running Lappin. The Fat Four on the move. Lappin. Well, sort of 6 or 7 Port players there. I don't know where the kick was headed. They should clear here. Oh. Brogan. Gee, Mead. He's cool and calm. And that handball to Kingsley put him under pressure, but that's a beautiful, clever kick to Stevens. They can really set it up here, Port. Stevens gets around Voss. Wants the player short. He wanted Franco, but Hart cut him off. And now the rebound. Oh, the kick from Hart to Brown. Ashcroft running. Ackermanis comes in the length support. Goes down. Here's Black once again. Somehow got a kick. Well, you could call it that because it's going to be out of bounds in the forward pocket.
I'll tell you right now, Darren Mead went to ground very easily there, and he is tired from chasing Jonathan Brown. When that contest came with Simon Black, he just went to ground too easy and really gave Brisbane an opportunity there.
And Jason, that's exactly what Brisbane would want as well. I mean, Mead doesn't like to be worked. He likes to sit in that hot spot at the top of the 50. That's his comfort area, and do his work from there, and he does it very well. Does not want to be pushed up the ground too far.
He's working hard at the moment. The old hands are on the hips, but he's down there at the bottom of the pack once again, trying to get it out. Here's Fabian Francis looking towards Burgoyne. He's gang tackled, somehow flicks it out the back door. How did that get out? Schofield's away, and so too is Port. Back towards Carr and Voss. Carr's done very well in the first quarter. Voss sits on it, then pokes it out the back door to McRae. He goes to Scott, who gives it to White. The dying seconds of the first quarter. The Lions need a mark. There's Bradshaw appeared to be interfered with at the back. James goes on with it. They'll get out of trouble to Waitland. Waitland looks up towards centre wing Cockatoo Collins on the outer side of the ground. Seconds only remaining. In fact, there is the siren. Good, tight, hard first quarter. That's what you'd expect. And unlike any other final we've seen so far this weekend, it is close. The Lions have had the opportunities on the scoreboard. They've had 7 effective scoring shots at goal for only 1 goal. 1 goal, 6, level with the Power, 2 straight.